Lasagna, I think, was invented to make pasta dish for many people at the same time. Milk. This is the first ingredients of lasagna, béchâmel. And we are going to make lasagna Matilde. Okay, here we have milk boiling, water, meat sauce. This is my recipe, quite different from my mother's. And this is the base for the bechamel. That is a mix of butter, flour, and my salt. I make aromatic salt to give a flavor to our kitchen. Usually I make two kinds. One more spicy, more perfume. And this is the base. The recipe is not a secret. Garlic, ginger, lemongrass, and then there are versions with rosemary, with nutmeg. I use this as a base, then I make some seasonal version. Maybe in the summer I use more rosemary and oregano, or maybe sage during the winter. The classic lasagna bolognese is made just with green pasta, bechamel, and meat sauce. We have been doing lasagna bolognese for 5 years, then I wanted to make something different. And so we came out with my partner with this recipe. Matilde comes from a recipe of my mother that she was doing on special occasion in a restaurant, not at home. That was called taglioline strette alla Matilde di Canossa. We decided to skip the traditional one. Let's do something else. We use yellow pasta for the flat layers and green tagliatelle for the filling. My bolognese sauce is a bit lighter than the one I used to eat during my early age, and now is made only with beef, the meat. That's quite unusual because the tradition of bolognese sauce was a pot on the fire where you put all your leftover meat of the week, and they were cooking every day. So you never put in a fridge because they were cooking every day. You had meat, you had tomatoes, so that was the beginning, the use of bolognese sauce, to recycle all the meat that was around the house. Now, after it has become very straight, there are official recipes in the Academy of Bologna kitchen, something like that. But this one I make, there are, beside only beef, the meat, I use my salt that gives a little twist flavor. I put laurel in the sauce, that is not usual in Bologna. And then I use more wine than oil to cook it, more carrots than celery and onions, and a lot of them, so the weight of the vegetables is the same of the weight of the meat. And I use only tomato and puree, so concentrated tomatoes, because in Bologna with the tomatoes you make just the paste, because so the pasta or the sauces would be the same all year long. Or you use fresh tomatoes or the passata for something else, not for the bolognese sauce. And that's the pillars of the recipe. Then there is slow cooking. It takes me like 6 hours to do it, not from scratch, because from scratch is a bit more. The concept of the Bolognese restaurant is that you had the sauce always ready, always hot. So the sauce is keeping cooking every day. And you add fresh sauce, and then you cook it, you keep it at 60-70 degrees for 4 or 5 hours. So it's steamed a little bit every day. And the thing is gets better. Like the lasagna. Lasagna is not a plate that you make it and then you eat it right away. You have to cook it and then you have to wait. If you wait the day after, for me is better. What we use here is the practicing of the Bolognese restaurant like in the 70s, 80s, when you have to keep lasagna ready for the customer lunch and dinner. At home, the mother put cheese on it, but in the restaurant they don't do it because the cheese stopped the absorbing of the pasta and the meat. So the pasta has to absorb, and so the cheese melt that. And so also for conservation is much better if there is no cheese. And the best way to add cheese is just to grate fresh parmesan on top of it, I think. So we will not use cheese in this recipe like is usual. We are a niche of a kitchen, and so we have less employees. We don't have any employees because you don't have to cook while you attend people, customers, so you can prepare before, and when you open, everything is ready. You have to care about just the service. And maybe that's why we don't have a smoking lasagna as a logo, but we have a paletta. It comes from the restaurant of my parents, so like a symbol of the work you have to do with your hand. Without this, you don't have a lasagna shop. Usually the classic lasagna has 5 layers because it makes the perfect height to cook inside and not to burn outside. But usually when lasagna is ready, when you see the beginning of burning parts in the angle, that means that inside has reached the right temperature. We do some casual spot of béchâmel and meat sauce. So when you arrive in that part, you have a different of taste. We start to prepare the spinach powder. The thinner layers of béchâmel is very important because it has to cover all what is inside, because it has to be like a dexel, so they have to steam inside the pasta. So the right lasagna should swollen a bit when you cook it. Industrial lasagna that they do in Italy, not here, the béchâmel they use like 55% of the oil, so we use less than 50 and more meat sauce and more pasta. That's Matilde. Has to be cooked, then has to wait, then it has to be reheated again, and will be perfect for many hours. The first cooking I do like 160 with fan for 20 minutes. Then I let it cool down, and then I warm again for 15 minutes, 180. And then I wait to serve till the lasagna inside is 50 degrees. So we keep it at 50 degrees inside, so the oven is warmer, 60, 70, and can stay hours in the oven like that, not losing quality. It's in gaining quality.